So my first question is, when you think back about 20 years, what is the defining moment that changed your path from being programmed by the system, if you were, and if you have to go back further than 20 years, do that, guys. Being programmed by the system to running your life. Because you're all running your lives at this point. You go.
All right. I would say there's a lot of moments, and I've been a prepper. I got a patch that says been prepping since Y2K, and there's partly true, but you can be a prepper and still be part of the system. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so anyway, we're good. So I would say it was the day that I hopped on the plane just over 10 years ago, left my wife and 5 kids behind with no money in my pocket, and flew to Alberta, Canada to work in the oil patch, to sleep on a cot at my in-laws' mobile home with the only thing we knew was absolute desperation. But that is the thing that changed. I've heard it said before, the ultimate life hack is to move from your hometown, and that's what it took for me. That moment that I woke up that first night on there with my 2-year-old twin daughters at home, called them one time, and they're like, "Daddy, you just need to be here." And absolute desperation, hopping on that plane and deciding we were moving across the country. That's what did it for me.
Ready to hear like a tear-jerking story? Like, really? 12 years ago, I almost killed a man in training incident. It was a negligent shooting situation. He left. I was recently divorced. I was on the cusp of breaking very toxic relationship. Lost everything I had. Lost about 80% of my business. And I looked at it as a big tragedy that happened to me. It was unfair. As a result of that, I met Jaeger. As a result of meeting Jaeger, I got introduced to this dude next to me named John Willis. And I'm a little slow. I'm Russian. So it took me some years, and then getting married to a young girl who, you know, who comes from freaking Mormon country of all places, right? To get my shit together and actually listen to dudes like these with me here on the stage and start making moves one step at a time. And that's what it took to hit the fucking bottom to start moving up. So don't be afraid of the bottom. It's all right.
I don't really know what the answer is. I did delivery routes and I was making like $3,000 a month doing newspapers. I had 3 routes and basically worked 4 hours a night and then would go home and sew and build kit and then do gun shows and stuff. And finally they just got enough of my shit and they fired me. And I was always worried to quit the routes and actually do my stuff full time because I was worried about that $3,000. And when they fired me, I just had to work. And I was super worried about it, right? And I made $10,000 the first week. So I just kept doing that. Like, it's the same thing, like I need to get out of California. I know everybody knows somebody that needs to leave and they've got that excuse of, well, when my kids graduate or my ex-wife or whatever it is, just fucking leave. Like, go when you're 20 and you're unencumbered and don't wait till you're 30 and 35 and 40 because it just gets more difficult because you've already died. Like that time that you spent waiting there, not acting and doing nothing, you're never getting it back. And it's way easier to do it when you're younger. Just go. Build something worth building. Well, I don't know if my whoever will go or my kids or whatever it is. Then go and build something worth building that's so awesome that they want to be a part of it. Because you're going to wait and it's never going to happen.
I agree with that. For me, the change was a night sitting at home, like I was telling earlier. It was 11:30 at night when I decided to write a story on a forum that turned into a book, that turned into a thing that changed our life entirely. You know, I used to work on the road. I could be gone for 9 months at a time, never see home, never see Mel or my kids or nobody. And so this changed that. This let me be home all the time, and that's the best thing to me. And I get the freedom to travel around and do stuff like this and meet cool people. And you know, me and a couple of my buddies that do this sort of stuff, you know, we jokingly like to say when we're sitting around, like we live interesting lives. And you know, like you said, you only get one ride. So make the most of it. And it's sad that the system is designed to prevent that. So finding a way out of that was key. But I could talk all day about that whole thing, but still.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What is the most impactful and immediately impactful thing that I can do as a regular person to fight back against the evils of the federal government?
Ignore them. Act like they don't exist. But that's just a pat answer. But I bet.
Well, governments work at the consent of the governed, correct? Isn't that how this is supposed to work? Withdraw consent.
Right.
Even if it's one issue or one thing at a time. America used to be known, we had a pretty strong outlaw class. And I don't mean criminal, I just mean outlaw. There's a difference between an outlaw and a criminal. And everybody needs to dig inside to find that outlaw side of themselves. There's a lot of laws and a lot of things in this country that are stupid that won't make any sense. Actually, every country. Just stop following those stupid rules. It's only illegal if you get caught. And if it's some stupid stuff, these little things I'm talking about are all civil infraction kind of things. Start ignoring that stuff. And I don't mean go 100 miles an hour on the interstate. But any opportunity where you can get around the system, choose the path around the system.
It's legal for a fee. That's what it is, right? Because rich people can just pay the fee. The tall flagpole or the machine guns, you can't have them, but the guy with the money can have them, right? It's allowed versus able. The most impactful thing you can do is make money. And a lot of people will tell you money's not everything. Then why do you go to a place you hate for a finite amount of it and spend so much time there if money's not everything? In those people's lives, money is everything. Find something that you love to do. When you pay your bills and you have that little bit of money left over, do you save it every 4 weeks and then do this thing, or do you do that? What's that thing, right? How do we identify that? And then you monetize that. How do we make money doing that thing you love to do? And you don't have to stop immediately, but the goal is to stop doing that and make more money. And make more money, there's two kinds of people in the world. There's people that create things and have calluses on their hands, and then you have bureaucrats, right? If you need a dentist on Saturday night, you seek that man out and you're willing to pay him or her whatever she wants to fix your problem on Sunday. Then you have the DMV. Would you ever go there and pay another fee on a vehicle you already own if it wasn't for the threat of a gun and violence, right? Because that's eventually what happens. And they can only exist because they steal from us. Stop telling them what you're doing and just fucking do it. Just somebody will seek out what you're doing. Can you barter? Can you trade? And can you keep that money out of the main system?
I think that with experience from former USSR, America is actually much more dangerous dictatorship than that was, because they weaponized your money and they're using it against you, and they weaponized your fear and they're using it against you. Drop the fucking fear and use the weapon which they have, which is money, as John was saying, against them.
It's division. Who's the guy that's going to tell on you for a bump stock, right? It's not some liberal that hates guns or whatever that is, right? It's somebody that looks just like you. It's some dude that you went shooting with. The guy probably has the same truck you have, has the same stickers on the back of your truck, and they have done a good job at dividing all of you further. Right now, there's some dude in this crowd right now that's taking issue with what I'm saying. It's because they've divided us into smaller and smaller groups. It's not white, black. It's not upper class, lower class, white collar, blue collar, right? It's a finite amount, less than a fraction of a small percent, pulling all those strings and getting you all to fight amongst yourselves and turn each other in.
1-800 snitch.
Always.
Thanks, man. Step right up.
Hey, gentlemen. Question. So I live in New York City for about 26 years. I'm 30 now, and I moved to Florida. And
Oh, you're one of them.
no, no, I'm not. Hey, no, I'm not. I have changed my life drastically through the help of John and Wrangler Star, other people like that on YouTube and social media. But my question is, I do still have people that I care about in New York. Obviously, my mom is there, but I also have friends, and they don't even carry a knife. You know, I've given my friends in New York City knives, and they've actually kind of gotten into it with you know, my involvement in teaching them. But my question to you is, do you have any thoughts around the people from your hometown who didn't come along to this lifestyle? Or, you know, I know John moved from California, other people came from other places. Do you ever think about those people? I don't worry about them, but I'm just curious if you have any thoughts on bringing your friends up to speed, getting them out here, showing them the life, etc.
You can't save them.
No, and not unless they want to
You
be.
can't save them. My mom, when I moved from California, she always said, when you coming back? When you coming? Mom, I'm never coming back till they extradite me. I'm never coming back. I'll build you a house. I'll buy you a house. I'll fly you out here. You can take a limo, bus, whatever, right? I'll send people. We'll move you. Mom never came. I'm never going back. But you know who came? Jeff came. Lance came. I got 20 dudes here. It was important enough to come here. You can't save them. Have you ever changed anything in their lives?
I would not go back either.
Right. But they're going to drag you down if you let them. You're going to go back and something's going to happen and you're going to get stuck there or you're going to get back into that. You're going to be infected by everybody you come in contact with. You better make sure you want to catch what you're getting from them.
That's what I'm.
That's more important, right? So dudes build something awesome enough that they want to come see it, and then they can actually see it. They can't, you can tell them all day long, but until they experience it. Jeff came out for my birthday, and he stayed here. That was how many years ago? Lance came out just through hiking, gonna hike the Appalachian Trail, and he stayed here. How long ago? Yeah. You can't save them, man. Build what you believe in your heart is the right thing and show that, and the right people that have those beliefs will show up.
I'm going to tell you, I do a talk called The Poverty Mindset, and most of where that came from was what I left behind in Nova Scotia. I got a mom and dad, a sister, nephews, nieces, and I love them to death, but they all live in that mindset. We've offered many, many times to fly them out, move them out, set them up with our business. They are absolutely happy where they are. I can't stop it. All I can do is hopefully model the life for them. We talk about it. I bring them out. I'm like, here it is. But when it comes down to it, like John said, you can't stop them from doing what they want. And 95% of the people are so stuck in their ways that they don't even know that they're stuck in their ways. And that's where we end up. And I'm telling you, we could set my entire family up for life with a few jobs and stuff, and they would rather sit at home and wallow in self-pity and poverty. You can't do it. Model it, live your life, and the best you can do is leave a legacy behind that says you did it right.
I got a buddy, he's here, and his sister is freaking out over some stuff going on, and he super hates her job. He's like, what do you make? And he says, I can pay you that right now. But she's not showing up. She hates her job, everything she says about all the problems she has. They paying you? They're paying her a lot. He's like, I can pay you that right now. It's just things they say. I need to get out of California.
It's like John was saying that mission accomplished. I bought some shit from Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And but here's the thing. I think it's not that people are afraid of the truth, but they are afraid to break the freaking delusion they live. I mean, so if you really care about them enough to spend your time on it, don't try to explain the truth, but try to break the fucking delusion that they live. And if that doesn't work, cut it.
Yeah.
Cut it.
That's what I was going to say. You present it to them and say, and once they understand what you're saying, you understand where we're at and where things are going, and this is what it looks like. If they're not willing to engage, I hate to say cut them loose, but cut them loose. Or stop worrying. Focus on the people that are receptive and that they're like, oh, really, tell me more? Well, those are the ones you want to focus on. Don't waste your energy on those trying to convince them because you're never going to. Cut them loose. Don't cut them loose, but, stop worrying about them. Focus on the ones that are receptive.
Also, I'm a terrible friend. Like, if you want to be my friend, you have to come here. I'll never go. You could live 30 minutes away. I'll never come to your shit. But I'll be your best friend. All you have to do is come here.
At least we know where to find you, John, and that's the best part.
It was relatively, midway through, to today from the beginning of our friendship with John. I was so stupid. I go like, hey, John, I want to invite you to our wedding in Utah. He looked at me like, the fuck you talking about?
Jeff will tell you that I've built my own POW camp. You want to have dinner? We'll bring in 100 ribeyes. You want to see the circus? We'll bring the circus here. But I'm not leaving here. That blonde lady back there, the really pretty one, and this lucky dude over here that has her, they just moved from Yosemite. Like, those are my friends. But I will never leave here. I'm never going to go to their house. I don't know where they live anyways. He put a fake address, so I wouldn't go there.
Thanks, man.
Hey, if you need a family,
Yeah.
you have one right here.
So what are you guys most looking forward to out of the Homestead Apprentice program? Or is that specifically just John? I just heard about it here. I haven't watched the videos about it yet.
Have you signed up yet?
I have not.
So you're not doing it?
I don't know. I just heard you mention it yesterday.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah?
I'm probably not the best spokesperson for this.
I can sell anything.
I'm more of the you're fired.
You know, in my faith, they have a understanding. It's called joyful suffering. Let that sink in.
That's pretty much the show.
Did you see my interview with Joel Salatin? Anybody? Yeah. I wanted to know how he did his internship. Right. And that's why I asked those questions with this in mind. Because the truth is, I don't know how. I don't know anything we do. When I do an event, there's no fucking seats and tents or anything. We have 100 different people and vendors and acts and performances show up. I don't keep a calendar. I couldn't tell you what I'm doing tomorrow.
Right.
So I'm not the plan guy, but it always works every fucking time. Every single time. You can ask Jeff, he's been there. And Lance. How are we going to do this? I don't know.
Because he's the one doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's why it always works, because there's not ever an option that it's not going to work. If we plan it, it'll always fail.
Ain't dead, can't quit. Just gotta keep going.
All I gotta say, excuse me, all I want to say is I just fucking love seeing my friends kick ass and take names. I know John don't need to hear it, but I just love seeing it. When you launched that, I was like, this is exactly it. And it made
Well, I
me
didn't
smile.
want it. Turned into a whole nother animal.
All I know is I fucking love seeing you guys do it, and it's great. So, man, that makes me smile.
What do you want to see?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What shows do you watch like that?
I watch a lot of Joel's stuff. I watched mostly business stuff. is all
Every
I
now
watch
and then you'll get Joel to start talking, and then he realizes the camera's on and he stops talking.
Yeah.
He starts going down the direction I would go.
So are you going to go more Doomsday Preppers type
No,
farm
we
versus-
shot Doomsday Prepper here for
Yeah.
3 days.
Okay.
They never aired it.
Right.
Because we wouldn't say, they wanted James to say when me and my militia take over this town. And he said, I won't say it. And they kept trying to get him to say it multiple ways. He said, I'm not even going to say the word because you're not cutting it. I know 6 different dudes that were on the show, and they made them look insane. They're not at all that way. Christopher from, yeah.
In prison for that.
So no, and we're not doing that at all. Like I don't have. If you got a dude talking guns in here that keeps talking guns, he's a federal agent. This ain't the gun place. There's, I'll bet 70% of people in the crowd have a gun on right now, but that's not what this is.
Yeah.
What? I thought this was a safe place.
Yeah.
Seems pretty safe.
But when you got the stranger talking machine guns, you're getting set up.
No stranger talking machine guns.
Excuse me, sir, where do I get a sawed-off shotgun?
Thanks.
All right.
Step right up.
Short people, mic adjustment here. So a recurring theme for all of these events is the hesitancy to start something that you should start and you want to start, or building yourself up after a failure. And that's something at least 2 of you guys have talked about. Divorce, rebuilding, lose half of your stuff, 80% of what you built from. John, you said like 4 guys were looking for a prepper girlfriend. So from your wisdom, hopefully you two have had success, one and done with, first wife, consistent, still wife. Anyway, the point is, what would your advice be for someone who wants a partner to go with them, challenging their fear of losing their heart, losing their, because I know you guys are the soft, sensitive type, so we can talk about feelings and your heart, Whether it's rebuilding your heart, rebuilding your stuff, don't get too personal. I don't have any Kleenex on me,
There's only 3 feelings: hot, cold, and recoil. No other feelings exist in the world.
All right, so how would you vet?
Do you know I have a podcast called You Married the Wrong Bitch?
No. Okay. So do you have like a segment in there, like the right female dog? That you want to go through life with? How do you find the right companion?
So the normal question is, how do I get my wife on board?
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't. Like, you married the wrong woman. That's the real answer. When you have, if you want a chick that's going to go rock climbing with you, you should probably go where people rock climb, right? If you want a mountain bike girl, you should probably go mountain biking. You want a church girl, you should probably go to church, right? You don't always have to be on that path, but if you love her or she loves you, she's going to follow you to the end of the earth. I always joke with Amanda about, we're going to move it, we're going to get a school bus, we're going to live in Alaska. She's like, I'm not going to Alaska. I have no fucking doubt she'd go to Alaska. None whatsoever. Live in a cave, she'd be in a cave. I just have the right one. I don't know how to make people, I'm not a psychologist. I think a lot of psychology is absolute horseshit. I think counseling's horseshit. I have friends that are counselors. I believe a lot of the things are just complete bullshit. I'm probably not the person to ask. I don't know. I'm very lucky, I guess.
But you would say that even if you fail the first time, it's worth trying again?
Yeah, I failed 100 times.
Okay. I meant relationships.
Yeah, I failed 100 I knew Amanda. I married the other girl.
I married the first guy I kissed. I have no problem with him. So.
And when I got home, the other girl wasn't there. I called Amanda. I should have just married Amanda.
All right, that's the advice everyone. You should have just married Amanda.
That's it. Like, we typically know when we're doing something. We know what the right thing is and what the wrong thing is. And a lot of times we do the wrong thing, and we spend a lot of time trying to make the wrong thing work. Because it feels so right. And it doesn't, and you know it doesn't. This dude has no fucking question that his wife loves him. I can fucking see it when he's not looking and she doesn't know I'm watching her. You can see it. You just know. And maybe he's lucky and maybe I'm lucky, and Lance, he brought a lot of girls, and I'm like, I don't like this bitch. Don't bring her to my house. But when he had one I liked, she knew. Jake, I don't like people's women. I typically do not hang out with fucking dudes' wives. I like her. I don't know. I'm probably not the person to be talking to this crowd about this. I do not have any business giving relationship
No, so the
advice.
advice is maybe bring your girlfriend by SOE and see what John says.
Actually, that would be like good filtration camp
I was
for
just
bitches,
going to say,
Bring them to John. If
up
John
on
approves,
stage, can we
take
get
her
some cards
out to
made real
dinner.
quick, like a 1 through 10? We'll do a little rating system.
A reality show. That'd be awesome.
Come here.
Come on to the stage.
Add on to it. You've been around long enough.
I don't even know what to say.
How'd you get the right one?
I went to Walmart.
No,
No, seriously.
he was looking for darn good prices.
I got lucky. I mean, kind of like what you said with Amanda. You got lucky. I mean, tap, rack, bang. I mean, I fell a lot of times. Like I said, stupid relationships, this and that. Especially when I was homeless, living in my van and stuff like that, and just, trying to get my life back together. Yeah, actually. Yeah, I got pictures of it if you want to see them. Just, trial and error and learn. Fucking learn. If you see the red flags, start listening to them.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, no, well, she makes good meat or gives good, whatever. Freaking, I'm just saying, if there's red flags there, you gotta think, hey, is the juice worth the squeeze? And if it's not, find some other fruit to squeeze.
It's just like getting out of California. You know you need to get out of California, and you wait and you wait and you wait, and you've wasted all that time. Yeah. Why start a relationship with somebody to try to make it work when you know there's something wrong, some deal killer that's in there?
Just do it.
Something? Do either of you two have something to add?
Here's another good example right here.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, me, yeah. I waited 18 years with my first one. Two blessings of it. I got my oldest daughter, Sophia, and I got my boy, Nicholas, there out of that. Other than that, shit show. Should have dumped her many, many years ago. And if it goes live and she sees that, I'll see you in court. After that, on that hot, crazy Matrix shit, 10-10. Yeah, so I met one in Atlanta. There's something in the water in fucking Atlanta. She was 15 on crazy. Hotness, it started changing. It's now below 5. And after that, I said, you know what? No more marriages, no more commitments, nothing. And then this chick comes in that she was born when I was in Afghanistan with my AK. she came to my class to shoot guns, you know, and hard-headed as fuck. God, there's sparks at home when we have a fight. You know what I mean? But I'll go to hell and back with her, and I believe she'll do the same with me. And that right when it's not luck, guys. I think what it is what you become is what you fucking attract. You know what I mean? Luck is a small factor. Yeah, you may win the lottery, but what you become at certain point in your life, this is what you're gonna attract. If you're a shitty dude, in and out, maybe you're not necessarily yet successful or whatnot, but you're a shitty dude, don't expect a wife material. You're gonna get a hoe.
You have to build yourself into what you want, the woman you want. You have to become the guy that she would want. And if you're not, why would you get the woman that you want if you're not what you think she deserves, right?
That's it. Absolutely. I mean, be one thing, be absolutely content by yourself first. And if you're there, because that's what happened with Becky and I, we said, no, we're good. We're going to be good single the rest of our lives. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work for you per se, but once you're content where you are, and you know who you are, and you're happy with who you are, then the right people are going to be attracted to you in that sense. And I don't mean that in a bad way. And we all say we're lucky because we have the best friggin' women in the entire world. And we are, but it's also work too. It's absolutely work. But you got to be willing to do it. It's like anything else I talk about. You've got to work at it. Man, when we were first together, we've been madly in love, but man, we had some fights when we first started. I'm not kidding. And now she's down here speaking. We've built at least a 7-figure business. We're partners in crime. We could hop in the vehicle and travel the world tomorrow, every day for the rest of our lives, spend it together. That's it. That's what I got.
We have business in common. That's probably why they work so well, because they're business. When Amanda and I sit down at a table, it's business.
Yeah.
We don't talk love and kisses and hugs and shit. There's plenty of it, but everything's fucking business. Like literally 24 hours a day. It's business. That's what we share together. Alex Hormozy, when he took his wife out on the first date, they met at Frozen Yogurt to discuss if he could hire her because he wanted her to work for her. And they built a multi-million-dollar empire over it. And when this dude shows up and talks about his wife, right, his girlfriend who he had met, when she's not there, that never happened before. It never happened until her. Like, I knew, but he never, like, when you get around dudes and they're not talking about their women, they're probably not really happy with their women. I've never stood with him and him not talk about her, even when she's not present. Ever, not once. And Sonny too. Now.
Okay, so know thyself. In summary,
Yes.
know thyself. Be the person you want to attract. And guys, bring your girlfriend by SOE for John to give her that fun.
Are you proud? Are you proud of you?
Yeah.
Like when you stand in the mirror, are you proud of what you see? Like if you're not, you should probably fucking work on that before you try to find the chick that you want. Like you got to become that.
And maybe we'll do prepper speed dating at the next SOE.
If somebody wants to run it,
Look, I
it's not me.
know that guys are here and they're like, I want to find a woman. I know there's dudes here asking me who single women are. Yeah, there should be something like that.
I keep talking about it.
How many people here are single that would like to find somebody that is like mine?
Preppersonly.com.
Like, yeah, for real. But like, for real, like raise your hands. Like, no bullshit, stand up. Who's single?
Who's single? Stand up.
Who's single?
John said stand up.
Hey John, every year Valentine's Day do the SOE dating show.
I'm not running this bullshit. But you guys can figure it the fuck out. Like you see who's single.
Every February the 14th.
Robe like
SOE
Judge Judy.
hangs a new sign.
Hey, you got a woman now? Well then why the fuck aren't you standing up?
All the single people too.
Because there's half of you. I see your ass working out every day. You're a lot harder.
That's right.
All right.
Federal agent, go ahead and ask your question.
I'm going to
put that on a T-shirt. Like John Willis called me a Fed.
Some of the best. We should have recorded that. That was some good shit yesterday.
What do you guys think of sawed-off shock? Oh, sorry.
Talked to a lot of people, a lot of people doing business here, and one of the things that keeps coming up is really to turn a hobby or something that you're interested in this space into something that you can make money in. You really need to have a social media presence and have a brand that you're building.
Yep. That's because there's Prince Dad. I used to run a full ad in Recoil magazine for years. You know what never fucking happened one time? Nobody ever said, hey, I heard about you from Recoil magazine.
So what's the most important thing of that when you're creating content? What is the most important attribute for the content you're creating?
Entertain, educate, equip, okay? You have to entertain them. You have to do something to dazzle them and capture them. Entertainment. Educate. Teach them something they didn't know. Tell them something about the product. Tell them something that they're going to, and then equip, right? For me, that's equip, but it's actually call to action. Join my email. Join my text. Buy my book. Hey, I have this service picking up dog shit. Hey, you have kids. We'll take care of your kids and love your kids. Whatever. Entertain, educate, equip. That's it. And it's social media. Which social media? All of them. Not necessarily all of them, but the real ones. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. That's really the real ones. X, because they're simple to use. Locals, Float, MeWe. I have all that bullshit, but it doesn't perform. But you should have a footprint there. You can spend a lot of time developing some obscure social media, and that's fucking awesome because they can't cancel you. But when I make a post on Facebook, and I put $1,000 behind it, I make $20,000 that day. I don't do that anywhere else. Nowhere else works. I'm running a promo right now. I've got $100,000 in sales in the last 3 days of some dude's last name that was mad at me.
That's so good to see those promo codes come back, John.
Maybe, we'll see.
I would like to say the other thing that comes up when you're posting to multiple places as a solopreneur, when you're starting out, it feels like a lot of work. And for $20 a month, I pay for a tool called Metricool, where I can do one post and it goes to multiple places. Sometimes I want to tailor them. That's not your best long-term strategy, but if you're not getting it done and that helps you get it done, that $20 a month is worth every penny.
Reels brings you new eyeballs. Posts engages your existing eyeballs. That's Instagram. Instagram and Facebook are Meta. Anything you post to Instagram, you can share to Facebook. Now, anything you post to YouTube, you can also share to Facebook for some reason, but you can't to Instagram. The game changes every 5 minutes. When you get in bed, I don't watch TV shows. I get in bed at 10:30 and I type current Instagram trends. And I just listen to a couple of those videos. For some reason, it ain't white dudes making those videos. It's not English-speaking people for some reason. I don't know why that is. White guys don't make good content. Well, they don't make viral content.
And I would say I'd put into it that you got to put the reps in too, because you're not going to be good at it when you start. You're going to suck. Like I tell the joke all the time that my first video looked like a hostage negotiation video from the basement of an Afghanistan cave. Like it was awful. And no, the only way you're going to get good at it is doing it every damn day, all the time.
Or do like I do, and you pay somebody to do that for you. Thumbnails, like learn the thumbnail. Like that's for YouTube and stuff like that. The thumbnail is, and so is the title. I'll tell you that much. I've only learned that because that's what the people I pay tell me.
And for $1,000 wet and dirty outdoors right there, he'll sit down with you and tell you what you need to do.
There you go.
Not really. He'll do it for $500.
That kind of shit's worth it too. Invest. You have to. I mean, you got to put your money. Every cliche, and you got to put your money where your mouth is. You absolutely do, because it's going to cost a bit of money to learn, and you're going to want to upgrade your gear as you go along. But you just got to put the time in, man. You got to, and be passionate about. Put out a good damn product before you start selling.
You ever heard of Tupac? Right, Tupac. You know, he puts out those lost tapes. That was all the bullshit they cut out that wasn't good enough to go on the album.
Yep.
But now that he has a name, right? Because he's the best rapper alive still. He puts out the lost tapes. And they go platinum because he has the name. That's your first 100 videos. Yep. If they're not good enough, you just send them to a few people. Don't send them to the people that are like, yeah, My son does everything perfect. He's the best, right? Send him to some people that'll tell you what's fucked up with him. Send him to some people that you think is going to tell you what's wrong with him. But that's that first 100, man. Just put them up there. What's the pottery thing, Evan? Evan Dixon.
He's watching his kid.
What's the pottery thing? They had a group of people doing pottery, and they told the people, build the 5 best pots you can build, and they told these people, you have 30 days, build as many pots as you can build. The dudes that did the most, they built better pots than the guys trying to make the 5, because they didn't know how to make them. It's just doing it over and over. I've had 20 people tell me, hey, I want to start a business. I'm like, cool, what's your social medias? Well, I don't have them. Then you're not starting a business. Well, I'll get it done. I'm like, look, man, I'm to the point where I do this so much, it ties up my entire day. And I'm like, look, you come back here and show me your social media, show me you have the URL, which costs, what, $17, if that? You come back and show me that, show me you bought a sewing machine, and didn't I tell you? And so I'll give you everything I got. Guys pay $5,000 to come and sit with me for 2 hours. I'll give it to you, everything I got. You know how many dudes come back in and actually, you can get all your social medias in like 2 hours tonight for free. They don't do it. I'm not talking about you.
Anybody else got any questions for us? How we doing?
Last
No,
question.
I don't want John to yell at me.
I want John to yell at somebody. Who wants to be yelled at? Let's go now. Come
Here we
on
go.
up.
Oh, here.
We're ready. Hit us with your best shot.
Pat Benatar.
Had a nice conversation with this lady earlier.
All right, this is kind of like a situational prepping thing. Your books, I listened to them while I was driving over the road. Really appreciate it. But it also opened up like long-term survivability to get home. I mean, I could be 600, 1,000 miles away from home. Like in those circumstances, you're not packing a vehicle bag gone. So I know there's one other trucker here at least. Could you speak to something?
I mean,
I understand you weren't a truck driver, but
yeah,
you
yeah.
traveled and
Well, no, I traveled extreme distances and I drove all of it. Being prepared and in that kind of time or that kind of a scenario, if you're looking at hundreds of miles to have to walk, your kit's going to be based more around tools than supplies. So you're not going to try to carry all your food and water in that rut because you wouldn't be able to. But you got to carry the means to acquire and render those things safe to consume. So instead of planning to have enough food, enough water, you're looking more now at water filters and containers, tools for fishing, trapping, that kind of stuff. But you got to be mobile too, so you got to remember that. But yeah, I would focus more on the tools you have and skills, knowledge, learn some stuff. Because the more you know, the less you got to carry, or that's what they say. But you still aren't carrying a lot.
What's the furthest you've ever walked?
Yeah.
How far do you live home from home?
Oh, well, currently I'm 10 hours from home, so 600 miles.
Learn how to walk, right? I mean, get comfortable with it.
If you think you have to get home, like, what do you got with you? Do you got the stuff that you think you would need to go home right now? With you in your car, truck? What does it weigh? Put it on. Go see what 10 miles feels like. Put it on. And just go do it. And then do it several times a week. Just start working out, start cardio, start eating better. What's the worst that could happen? You're going to be healthier. You're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. When your head hits the pillow, you're going to sleep faster, right? You're not going to have to sleep as long. You're going to be a lot more productive. Like if we're having that conversation, I don't like the cardio. I don't want to do any of that shit. My plan is to not be anywhere when it falls apart. That's why I don't leave here. What's the furthest you ever moved, Jeff? That's the furthest ever? How about Lance? I don't know where he went. You just have to be able to do it. Like if we're going to have the conversation, we can test it out today. I'm not telling you that, but that's the real answer that nobody wants to say. What's it like when the power goes out? Flip the breakers. Let's find out. He's seen it.
Yeah.
I hope I never have to move at this dude's pace.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen dudes that I see them still coming to training that talk what they would do if this was for real. If this was for real, if it mattered, I'm gonna perform more better. It's never gonna happen. Okay, find yourself on the worst day you woke up because you have a freaking hangover, you don't feel good. This is the day. Put that shit on. It's raining outside, sideways, with sleet starting. Perfect day for you to take that 10 km walk. Uphill.
Both ways.
Both ways. There goes flat earth theory. Anyway.
That was good. That was good.
You know, it's really on philosophical level, it's like this. We want to be very judgmental of others, but very forgiving to ourselves. Okay, put yourself to hard paces. No one else will, because why? They want to be fucking liked. So they're not going to tell you what you need to do. Willis over here, he doesn't give a shit about being liked, so he'll tell you how it is. Okay, that's the people you want around. So.
Chris's book series, they'll get through some crazy shit, and seemingly there's a peace, right? But it's not ever peace. It's just calm before the next storm. And they'll have the garden and everything seemingly is good, and then the whole fucking town gets burnt down. Like, he's really good at that. Like, it makes another book. Just, if this, then that. If this happened, what would I do, right?
Yeah, the system.
Like, I have a whole nother property. When we walked out of that building, we left all the shit there. My plan is if this building burns down, we're going to work Monday in the other building. That's the plan. People are like, what if a tornado? I'm like, I'd be glad if a tornado knocked this motherfucker out. Because we build what I want to build.
Why are you waiting for the tornado?
Because insurance isn't going to fucking pay this, and you're not going to pay for it. That's why. And
Okay.
I'm comfortable. I'm complacent.
Yeah.
Comfort brings complacency. The reason the United States is the way it is because you're all comfortable.
So we've got 2 minutes to answer this gentleman's question.
My man.
Yeah, I'm just directly for you, John. I'm interested in coming and working here for you, not doing my own thing, not trying to.
2 weeks too late. I got 3 too many guys right now.
Roger, appreciate that.
Come in Monday.
I love it. Love it.
You better be able to Indian leg wrestle because you gotta be able to beat Skylo.
All right, so we do have a digital pass question, and it looks like we have 1 minute left to answer this. And the question is, what are your thoughts on hosting events on my own property and letting people in to build community? And I'm assuming the person is worried about having complete strangers on their property.
I got a buddy who has a sewing business. He wants to scale his business. I'm like, you have to have employees. Well, I'm not letting him come to my house. Well, then you have to have another place. Well, I'm not ready for another place. Well, then you're not fucking scaling your business. How many acres of property they have? This shuts me down.
Yeah.
This shuts me down for the entire week. All my people who aren't here right now, they're all paid. It just shuts down business. I don't run a promotion. I don't run the email. We do a very lackluster text. This cost me $30,000, $40,000 in revenue to do this. I don't have, no money passes to me from this. So just be prepared for that. I assume you'll start at a much smaller scale. What does your property look like? Do you have gravel? If you don't have gravel, you're going to have a lot of mud, and that mud's going to be in the building. We used to put straw and hay down to keep that out. You can do it. You can absolutely do it. Just be aware. Like, test it. Try it with 10 friends, and then try it with 100 people and see what happens with that.
I have a monthly meetup at my homestead, and the next one is Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. You have to join the Homesteaders Alliance of DeKalb County on Facebook to get information about it. And people do not come inside my house. I have a place outside that we do that. I'm sure that some weirdos have been there, but...
And it's prepping and self-reliance and homesteading. If you got animals, you're going to be out there when it's lightning. You're going to be out there when it's thunder. You're going to be out there when it's rain. You're going to be out there when it's snow. So if you can't make it here when it's raining, you definitely ain't getting home 100 miles in the rain.
I'll say right quick, I've had 5 or 6 people up in Canada where I live who have kind of cold messaged me and said, hey, I want to drop by and see you. And every one of them I've let them come by because I vetted them. I say cold message, it's not like I didn't know who they were. And if a complete stranger said I want to come by, I might say, hey, we'll meet somewhere else for coffee. But when it comes down to it, you know, we all put ourselves out there. We talk about who we are. And if you're going to build community, there's always the chance. You know, get over the bullshit of what if. Because if you do what if the rest of your life, you're going to sit there on your deathbed and wonder what if, right? So just do it.
No concern with your children?
That's a good, yeah, maybe a little bit.
You might want to meet somewhere else first.
Yeah, no, they come, they're usually not there when they come, but as far as all that, because there's social involved as well, right? And so I've kept them fairly sheltered from it, but you guys are almost 14 now, so I talked to them about it. We've always been open from day one about
There's weirdos. There was people threatening to kill my kids, abduct my kids. The most heinous shit, I know. Yeah. The most heinous shit you can think of. Yeah.
But if you don't open yourself up to some risk, you don't get the benefit of the community.
Okay.
It's
right.
a choice.
You're right.
It's a choice.
You're right.
All right, let's give these guys a round of applause. Thank you so much. This event has been a very different, energetic event than any we've done. Don't you think, John? Yeah. Sorry, John gets the mic. What did you get out of this event, John?
Then I just don't care. I just don't fucking care. I didn't clean up, like the property looks like shit. I don't clean up my workspace. This is every day. We didn't try to make it different to trick you into believing it was something else. If you come here and you come back, you know exactly what's here. There's so many people on social media and YouTube you watch and you see a little sliver. And then if you ever see them in person, they don't look, it's angles, right? It's all the makeup or it's the angle and it's the sliver of the property, whatever it is.
Corner of the camera frame.
Yeah, people are like, are you ready? No, we're never
right
ready. We're never ready. We used to spend weeks getting new product ready to go to an enormous trade show. The new thing we were working on, that's never what sold. It was always the thing we didn't bring that they wanted. This is real. This is real. This is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Who has been here and is going to do something different when they leave? Raise your hand. What are you going to do differently?
Get more into gardening.
Get more into gardening. Who else will tell us something? Yeah, go. Getting rabbits.
I'll send you home with them right now.
Do you want rabbits?
How many people have I said that to? How many people have my rabbits?
Yeah. There you go. And you can buy a cage at Tractor Supply on the way home. If you haven't put infrastructure in. What are you going to do different? What? Grow food for your animals. Fodder. What about you? You had your hand up. Didn't you have your hand up? No? Oh, okay.
Circus rabbit.
What are you going to do different? You're going to go to the raw feed method for your dog. Anybody else want to share? Yeah.
Getting the fuck out of California.
It's about time. Are you SVG patrol?
Yeah. A lot of that. Huh? Digital security. That was a great session I heard. I can't wait to watch the recording. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, one more. In the back, AJ. Host an event. Self-Reliance West.
I'll be there, AJ.
Okay, don't forget we're having the Eclipse sale on our tickets through the end of the day tomorrow for the October event, October 4th and 5th. Tickets are $75 until the end of the day, and honestly, I'll be asleep, so I'll probably turn it off on Tuesday morning. And then they go up to our early bird prices. So if you are committed to continuing this journey with me and with John, get your tickets when they're at the best price. It's even refundable minus processing fees through August 1st. Selfreliancefestival.com has them up. or you can go to the information booth if it hasn't blown away, and they can take money right here for that.
Hey, you little mongoloids, break those boxes down. Because
You're
it's my
using the wrong-
dumpster, that's why.
That's the wrong dumpster. There's a dumpster behind this tent for you to use, please. That I rented for this event. I don't want to fill up your dumpster. All right.
With the eclipse, they might not ever pick it up again.
Oh, I do promise to refund your money if the world in fact does end tomorrow.
We will see it in your bank on Tuesday.
Yes, exactly. Wednesday, actually. It takes me a couple
We
days.
refunded it, just talk to the internet. They're the ones holding.
All right, guys, thank you so much for coming. We are going to do the drawing now, so you can stay and help or whatever.
I'm not.
Does anybody, one last call.
From the bottom, they tore it down, I rebuilt it. I give myself a task, you can bet your ass I fulfill it. Yeah, man, I'm talking about realest, one of the realest.